Hey, everybody, welcome to our newest Patreon episode. We are done with the vow, and I'm guessing you told people you spread the news, Twitter somehow, that Dr. J had a
Yeah,
situation.
yeah, I put it on uh, Patreon, but had a conflict. She had some last minute things come up, and she is not available for about 3 weeks. So October 12th, Columbus Day, will be when we will be speaking with her. So sorry it's postponed, but at least we were able to reschedule with her.
Yeah. So we decided to go ahead and move on to our newest documentary. I couldn't think of the word for a second. I don't know words. Okay. This one is I don't even know what. Like, this shit is so crazy. So, this is Abducted in Plain Sight. You've probably seen it at least pop up on Netflix. If you have not watched it, I would suggest watching it. Because, we watched it a while back, and even going back and watching it, I was shocked all over again at this shit.
Yeah, and I know that a few of you were talking about that whole zombie shit. There's a documentary that just came out or is about to come out, and we'll probably do that. But I really wanted to do one where I didn't have to worry about like offending anybody because everybody in this documentary is fair game. 'Cause, I mean, they're just all ridiculous.
Man, I tell you
So,
what.
I mean, I'm not like I don't know if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen it, just wait till we start talking about this stuff, and you will see exactly what I mean. Because ridiculous, these people are not the
Yeah,
brightest
they are definitely the shallow end of the gene pool.
for sure.
For sure. So it opens with a girl in a parade and a man talking, and we have no idea who they are. So, like, already I was like, the fuck are these people? We just got
Yeah,
some random girl in a parade.
it's got a super creepy horror movie vibe to it.
It does, because the guy's talking about waking up to a girl and putting his arm around her and smiling, her smiling up at him. I'm like, are you talking about this little girl we just saw?
Hmm.
And then he says, quote, I know I had found the little girl I was searching for. I
Yeah.
threw up in my mouth a little at that point.
Yeah. So you got that. I wrote that down too because I was just like, "Are you kidding me right now?"
Right?
Yeah, because
Ugh.
yeah, there's some other things that he says, and yeah, oof,
Yeah, I got a lot of quotes. You know me, I like quotes.
you do.
Just because I don't like people coming back and being all bitchy, like, that is not exactly what they said. Motherfucker, okay, well, I'll tell you exactly what they said then. Because I quoted the shit. I stop and play and stop and play. I'm making sure I know what the fucking words are they say. So don't nobody be coming at me about my quotes being wrong, okay?
Okay, first, babe, you're coming in hot, real hot. Okay,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
Patreon. They know who we are. Okay,
That's
like
true.
you don't
That's true.
like they're on board. They're on board with it. Like we're good. We're good.
Fair enough, fair enough. Okay, so after this creepy shit, we meet the family. So we got, if y'all are ready, everybody try to keep up here. We got Bob, who is the dad. Marianne is the mom. Jan is herself. So Jan's like the whole fucking feature of this thing. Jan's like the little girl, who is pretty much the feature of the thing. And then her sisters are Susan and Karen, and they're both younger sisters, right? Because was it she the oldest?
Yeah.
Okay. So Jan is talking about how close her family is and how that was so crucial to everybody surviving this situation.
Yeah, and I know that we may jump around a little bit because we actually didn't watch this one together because we found when we watched it together we write down the same stuff. So, but did you catch when Susan, the younger sister, said what I considered a normal childhood? Like she considered her childhood normal with all this shit going on. Like
I don't even.
that's not. There's nothing about that childhood that's normal.
Maybe she meant up to that point it was normal. Like,
Maybe.
because you know how people are always like, how, how did that happen? Did you have, abuse in your family? Did you have this? So I don't know. Maybe I just assumed that she meant like, Up to that point, it had been a normal childhood. But I don't know, because these motherfuckers be saying all kinds of crazy shit that didn't make any sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, what the fuck? So then they show us a picture of Robert B. Birchtold. And at some point, Jan says they just decided to start calling him B. So I think that's pretty much what we're going to call him because Dad's name is Bob. So it's just going to be confusing trying to call them both Bob.
Yeah.
So Mom talks about being the first one to meet B. She met him and his family in June of 1972. And
Yeah.
yes, he has a family, married with 5. Count them 5 children. That's a lot of damn kids.
And like a lot of creepy love stories or crazy ass stories, where did they meet?
Church, man, church.
Church. Church is the devil.
You
Telling you.
know, God. Okay, so y'all don't know this, but I'm gonna fill y'all in on some inside information here. Okay, so when we got married, this fool was religious, just like me. And then this fucker turns atheist on me somewhere along the line. So I pray for his ass every day, with my Southern Baptist upbringing. But man, these motherfuckers just continue to make Christians look so bad that I want to stab them.
Yeah, but they're not Christians.
No, they're not. They're
They're
LDS.
yes.
So
That's a whole
I
nother.
don't know what that fucking makes them, but is LDS and Mormon, are they the same thing?
Yeah, it's close. Almost a cult. That's what it is. It's almost a cult.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that tracks.
But did you like when the dad was talking about meeting Bob or B, he was just like, we just clicked and we became fast friends.
We had so much in common.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he got that fruit basket and he said he was personally thrilled and B was a pretty sharp guy.
I wrote down Bob talks about becoming BFFs.
He
Because
does.
that's how he pretty much puts it.
And then they do.
And I guess Mom and her wife became close too. But did you notice how Mom talks about being friends with her wife, his wife, but has to throw in that comment about them being an odd match? Like
Yeah.
she's already like getting digs in.
Yeah, I put that. I have that here where she said that Bob B and his wife didn't match, and I'm like, knowing what we know, I said that's jealousy.
Damn
Yeah,
straight. Old Marianne was getting pissed thinking about it. She didn't like old Gail because that's B's wife. Her name is Gail.
yeah,
Okay, so they talk about how B would come over every night and hang out, and that it was obvious to everyone that his focus was Jan. Okay, so first of all, did nobody think that shit was odd?
right. And then he gave her a nickname,
Yeah,
Dolly. From
which
what?
I don't even know where the hell that came from.
Yeah, yeah.
But so me and my quoting self, Mom says his attention to Jan annoyed her and Bob and said, quote, his fascination with Jan was a little disturbing. Okay, so a couple things. First of all, how the fuck ain't nobody thought this was odd? That this fucking man is coming over he's got 5 fucking children and a wife at his house,
Mm-hmm.
but he's leaving them at home to come to your house every fucking night and hang out with your kid?
Yeah, and when he came over, like from what I understood from what they were saying, like he didn't come over to hang out with the adults. He came over to hang out with the kids, doing puzzles and playing games and everything
Yeah.
else like that. So it's like, and like you got a little annoyed. No, no, annoyed is not what you should have gotten. Concerned, worried, scared. Those are other things that you should have been, not annoyed.
And to call it a little okay, it's a lot fucking disturbing, but to call it any amount of disturbing, why you didn't put a stop to it?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm telling you, there ain't no adults coming over here hanging out with my kid. There ain't. I mean, Cam don't have adults fucking coming and knocking on the door. Can Cam hang out? No, bitch. He
Right,
cannot.
right.
What?
And those creepy ass cassette tapes that
Oh
were
my God.
playing, like there's just stuff that he like, he called her his Dolly, and there was a
Oh,
quote on there where he was like, Dolly, you brought a special light into my life. And then he goes on, he's talking about bending over and giving her a kiss, and it's like, okay, so you can just see that it's a grown ass man and a kid.
Hmm.
And then he says, and I put this in quotes for you, said, no man could love any woman more. And I was like, a
Yeah,
woman? She's a fucking child. She's not a woman. There's no
yeah,
woman in this.
yeah. Because he's like, I love you more than words could tell. Oh, vomit,
Mm.
vomit, vomit. Okay, so we get to the kidnapping. I don't know if you have anything before the first kidnapping. Anything else?
I don't know. We'll go through
Your
it.
notes are like, I don't even know. It's like you smoke crack when you take notes because they're all over the place.
Well,
Mine are like
well,
chronological.
no, 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 no. It took me like an hour and a half to watch 25 minutes of this. So calm down. I did it right this time. It's a little weird because it does start talking about like the kidnapping and then it kind of goes back in time.
Yeah, yeah, it does do
So
that.
step up off, man. Just fucking read your notes.
Anyway, I got all my dates though, like color
Uh-huh.
coded so that I don't
October
forget when the
17th,
date was.
1974.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, which was a Thursday. Don't know if you bothered to get that little tidbit. But so
Fuck
and the
off.
only reason I did is because they say they're talking about when they get to Friday and then Saturday, and then I'm like, I need to let these motherfuckers know what day it was. So, October 17th, 74, which is a Thursday, B calls mom and says that he wants to take Jan horseback riding. Again, why aren't you taking your own kids horseback riding
Yeah.
or, all the girls?
By him, just her. There's like
Mhm.
his 5 kids at home. There's what, 3 girls in the
Yeah.
Broberg's house, and he only wants to take Jan. The daughter you already know he's paying special attention to that annoys
Right.
you.
Oh,
But
there's nothing this man can't talk her into, though.
yeah,
I mean,
he's pretty good at talking to people into things.
yeah, because at first she says no.
Yeah, because it was a school night and piano
And she
lessons.
had piano. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, but old dude was like, "Oh, I can pick her up from piano. It's completely fine." So, what does mom do? Sure.
yeah.
Okay.
Just have her back before Bob gets home.
Like, what's Bob gonna do? We find out pretty fucking quick that Bob has no spine. I don't know how that motherfucker sat up straight in that chair.
He was,
Like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Bob wasn't gonna do shit
No,
ever.
no.
So she need not worry about Bob. But Jan says that he picks her up from piano and gives her a quote allergy pill
Mm-hmm.
and that she then passes out because she doesn't remember anything else of the drive.
Yeah, she doesn't have any recollection of the drive, getting to the stables, none of it. So
Yeah.
clearly not an allergy pill.
And as you can guess, her ass was not back before Bob got home.
No.
It gets so late without them being back that his wife Gail even comes over looking for them's ass. Like,
Yeah, but she came over to keep them from calling the cops.
Gail knew exactly what was
Mm-hmm.
going on.
Yeah, because she came over at 9, and she's
Hmm.
like, no, 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 no. I'm sure they'll be back soon. There's no need to call the cops right now, because she knew what was going on. She was just protecting his ass.
Well, yeah, and when we find out what she does later, she's definitely trying to protect him.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, and the very next thing was how they were saying that Friday comes, which is the next day, but they still didn't call anybody because they didn't want to upset Gail. Fuck Gail.
Right,
What's she
right,
got to do with your kid? This is your kid.
right, right.
Gail's husband took your child and dis-a-fucking-peared. You don't
Mm-hmm.
think that's fuck Gail? Ain't nobody worried about Gail.
Right.
But
So
no.
after 2 days, Bob, he doesn't call police. He tells his wife to call. So I guess he can't even handle that. So he's like, hey, call the cops. So they finally do.
Bless his heart.
And then what's weird is I've never heard of, but I mean, they are in Pocatello, Idaho. But
Yeah,
it
but
was just,
it seems like a lot of shit goes down in Pocatello, though.
yeah, it does. But what's funny to me is when they called, it was on a weekend. So the cops were like, hey, we're closed. So if it's an emergency, call the office in Butte, Montana.
But they didn't want to worry all these people, so they
Yep.
didn't call.
They didn't want to, what she say? I don't want to get all these people worked up over nothing. Bitch, your kid is gone. She's been gone
Right.
for days. This is not nothing. This is something. If there ever
Like,
is a something, it's fucking this.
What do you think? Because okay, even if like first of all, this should have been your go-to first. He's paying all this extra attention to your kid. He gets
Mm-hmm.
her alone, and he don't come home. Your first instinct should be he done took off with my kid because he
Mm-hmm.
wants to have sex with her.
Yeah.
But even if you didn't go there, are you not concerned about all the other alternatives? Because why didn't they come back? Did they have a car wreck? Are they in the hospital? Like, have they both been kidnapped? Like, you're not concerned about any of the shit that might have kept them from coming back home.
None of it.
I can't even. Oh my god. So on the 22nd, day 5, they finally talked to the FBI. And mom says, oh my God. She says that that agent had to convince her that Jan was kidnapped because
Mm-hmm.
she's just like he just has her. He's not going to hurt her or anything. Like she just happens to be with him.
Yeah.
What?
Legit had to convince them. Like, because I got my notes. I was like, this broad said she didn't even suspect anything, and she
I
didn't think
can't.
he kidnapped Jan. So what's the alternative? Like you were saying,
Right?
what's the alternative?
He lose track of time. He just lost his watch.
For
Oh
5 days.
shit, Jan, what time is it? I don't know. Maybe he took an allergy pill too, and they
Right,
both passed
right,
the fuck
right,
out.
right.
God. So Gail tells the FBI agent when he comes out that they have a motorhome that I guess they park it. Did they park that in storage? Because it looked like they just opened the door of a little storage room.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it was just storage.
I was like, there ain't no motorhome fitting in that little bitty ass room, but okay.
Nah, it's a fucking metal tent on wheels.
Yeah. But they do go check for it, and of course it's gone from storage, so then they know. Which tells me for Gail to be so quick with that, she knew exactly where the hell his ass was. Come on now.
Mm-hmm. And that's when when the FBI agent was like, "Yep, that's when we knew we had to do a full investigation." I was like,
Yeah.
no, he's so funny because he's from the second he starts talking, you could tell he's like,
Yeah.
these people are dumbasses. Like, I can't even with this. I can't even.
Yeah. And, right after this, they find his car. But the thing is, they had not even found his car yet when Gail told them
Mm-hmm.
about the motorhome. So why would she have even thought of that? Why'd she even think to tell them about this motorhome? Like, why
Right.
didn't she just assume they were in his car wherever they went? This
Yeah.
bitch knew.
Yeah. Because when they found the car, the window was busted out and there was blood on the car, but the window was busted from the inside out. So it didn't. My guess is they were trying to make it look like they were abducted, but you got to break the glass on the outside to
Well, that's
end.
what the agent said. His ass wasn't fooled for a second.
Yeah.
He wasn't fooled for a second. He's like, yeah, he tried to make it look like it, but no.
Yeah.
He's
But
like, there was no sign of the motorhome, so we started looking for it.
for weeks, they searched for
Yeah.
weeks. Now, I will say that no matter how dumb the parents are, or naive, or gullible, or whatever synonym you want to use for dumb, they were genuinely upset.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
So, I
absolutely.
mean, there's that. Other than that, not going to give them a lot of a lot of leeway when we talk about these people because you wait 5 days. How worried
Mhm.
are you for real?
And, I'm even willing to go so far as with Dad. I mean, spineless, but still, I think he had good intentions. He was a fairly okay guy, somewhat. I'm just saying, like, okay, whatever. But like mom didn't give a shit about nobody but mom.
Mm-hmm.
Honest to God. I mean, I think there were times she was upset about Jan being gone, but at the end of the day, if mom could have got what she wanted, she'd have been like, Jan who?
Mm-hmm.
So, mm-mm.
Yeah, but
So
here's what.
the F
Oh, go ahead.
oh,
Yeah,
go
sorry.
ahead. I was just gonna say, so the FBI agent says that they start talking to people, and all these people in the community tell him that B had a huge infatuation for young girls.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, wasn't a secret.
Yeah, because this is when we meet his brother, Joe.
Yeah, his brother Joe.
Yeah, and he just comes out and he's like, he's a sexual pervert. He's always been a pedophile. He's always liked little girls.
The
And
crazy thing, though, is that Joe seems to take up for him so much, even
yeah,
knowing that.
yeah, yeah. Because they get
Oh,
into they get further into like B's childhood, and he talks about how when he was 12, he molested his 6-year-old sister. So,
Did you notice how he said, well, she was a half sister, though?
yeah, right.
Like, that made it better? I was
Right.
like, the fuck does that
Yeah,
matter?
yeah.
But he was so quick on that. But she was a half sister. So, like, it was only half wrong.
Yeah, it's only half wrong. Right.
I
Yeah.
mean,
12 and
what?
6. 12 and 6, whether you're
Yeah.
related or not. It's probably
Oh,
probably not
my
good.
God.
But what I think is funny is Bob Birchtold is the reason, the way they make it sound, is the reason the FBI changed stranger danger to pedophile. Because that's what the FBI agent said. He's like, I just knew it as stranger danger. I didn't know there was any like pedophile. I'm like, I mean, fucking kids has been a thing for a long time. Like, it doesn't matter what the words are. Like,
Right?
it's always wrong. Stranger danger, pedophile, freak show, whatever. Like, it's fucking wrong regardless of what you call it. So it's like, because I mean, even Bob said that. He's like, I mean, we didn't know that kind of stuff went on. The fuck you didn't.
Come on
Come
now.
on.
Okay, you may not have known this new word for it, but even the agent knew the shit was not right.
Mm-hmm.
And he says that they find out that B tried to get to 2 other girls, but the parents cut him off. And that's when he found Jan. So, these other 2 sets of parents were smart enough to not let this shit go on.
Yeah, because I mean, what he was doing wasn't like, it wasn't slick. It wasn't like
Yeah.
a long
It
con or
wasn't in
anything.
fucking stealth mode.
No, they were. He
Oh.
just found 2 of the dumbest parents in the world, and he's like, "Fuck yeah, this is easy."
Yeah, because I mean, from the very beginning of him finding her, he already starts trying to separate her from her family.
Mm-hmm.
Like, already. Because they talk about how her and the sister have this huge room. So he comes in and suggests that, well, they're older now and they need to start having their own space. And he's some kind of damn handyman all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
So he comes over there and puts a wall up in the middle of the room so that it's now 2 rooms.
Yep. Yep. How nice of
You
him.
have we have no friends, family, anybody that's coming over here and putting up walls in our fucking house.
It's hard to find people to help you move.
Right?
This guy's
We
building
talk about
walls.
moving and people were like, I gotta work that day. I'm not
Hey, I'm
sure.
busy that day. I haven't told you what day it is. All the days. I'm busy all the
All
days.
the days. But he's coming over there fucking renovating shit.
Right.
Come
Right.
on now.
And then what? We meet this neighbor. What? Core? Is that his name? Is that how you say his name? Like Core Hoffman. His first name was
I
Cor.
think I didn't
Yeah.
write it
Yeah.
down.
Oh, okay. So you get Thursday, but you don't write names. Okay, that's cool. But but no, he was a neighbor that he was invited to go on a boating trip with. I guess the entire Berchtold family, but it
Yeah,
seemed like it was just B. But I think it was the entire family.
I think
But
so.
even if it was, he also brought Jan. Nobody else from the Brobergs, just Jan. And this guy,
Yeah.
like, I don't know. Are they all just? I don't know. I don't know. Because he said, I just suspected there was something amiss at that outing. No fucking shit. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
But he
He,
did say like he gave him the creeps or whatever. He's like, I didn't hang out with him ever again.
yeah. But they didn't do anything to put him on the police's radar.
Nope. It's just, oh my God. So apparently, though, even though he's zoned in on Jan, the kids all still kind of hang out together.
Yeah.
So when they do sleepovers, his kids will go over to their house and then her and her sisters go over to B's house. And she said that one night they were at B's house staying over and they decided to do a sleepover sleeping outside on the trampoline.
Mm-hmm.
And that she wakes up to him next to her and her underwear is down. And I think you wrote it down better than I did. So, like, what was this? He convinced her?
My God. He said he told Jan that she was tossing and turning a lot and must have gotten uncomfortable, and she took her underwear off herself. And Jan said, well, it was plausible to me. I don't know how much tossing and turning you got to do to take anything off. much less have that
Yeah.
off and you wake up and some dude's laying next to you. Like, I get she was young, but what? Come the fuck
I
on.
guess the thing though is we don't know how young she was at that point. So,
Well, she said that what she
because I
said is
mean, all kids are kind of dumb.
well, yeah, but
You convince them of anything.
she did say the reason she thought it was plausible is because she didn't want to believe he would do anything like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So she was
And I
old enough
think
to
that's
know that,
normal.
it's fucking, that's not normal, but
Yeah.
she didn't want to believe it was a thing.
I think that's normal for kids though to question,
Which,
especially if they like the person.
hmm which is
They
why you need parents who protect their
exactly.
children.
Yeah. So like Jan during this, she was a victim. Like
Oh yeah, completely. Yeah.
she was a victim. Now I don't agree with all I don't know that I agree with all her shit once she's grown up. I think she should seriously get some more fucking therapy. But yeah, I mean she's definitely a victim. Like her parents are bad shit though.
hmm
So in June of 73, Jan goes on vacation with B's family. Just Jan.
Just Jan.
Nobody else. Just Jan.
Yeah.
Nobody found that odd, I guess.
Yeah. Just Jan.
And right. So she says that one night at dinner, she was so out of it that she was just kind of, I don't know, what did he say? Kind of like weaving in her
She
chair
was
and
swaying and
slaying. That's what
saying
it was.
strange things. So he's like, I better take her back to the room. So he carried her to the motel, and she was in and out of consciousness
Mm-hmm.
until she woke up, and he's just standing there, like, totally naked.
Butt ass naked.
Just what did you say, babe?
Shut it.
He's
I'm not doing this with you.
naked, naked.
That we're saying the same thing.
We are not, y'all. She says naked, and it's naked.
We're
So
saying the same thing.
we're
I don't
not.
know
We're
what you're
not.
talking
We're
about.
not even close. We're not even close. Anyway, and this is where the FBI guy, and even the FBI guy, some of the things that he says, I'm like, the fuck, because he said Jan and B had an unnatural relationship. Yeah, yeah. Did you have to go to
Well,
Quantico to figure that out?
I think he starts out trying to be really nice. I th- I wonder if like they're I don't feel like that's how he felt at all with during any of this. I think from day one he was like, "What the fuck is wrong with these people?" But I think that that might have been from a producing standpoint a way of showing his progression of how frustrated he got with them.
That's fair.
You
Okay.
know, since we've been listening, just because we listened to actually the lady who produced this show the other
Yeah.
night on a Zoom call, and it just talking about the different things that goes into editing and the way they tell the story and all. So I just wonder if because you could tell his progression as the documentary went, he got more and more frustrated. It went
Yeah.
from well, the parents needed some help to what the fuck, you know,
Yeah, because
like
he said B set a trap and they never saw it coming. And I'm like, how the fuck did they not see it coming? Like, he couldn't have been
Oh,
any more
Lord.
obvious of what he was doing. But I guess okay, I can see what you're saying about how,
Yeah.
he's trying not to make them feel like complete morons to begin with. But I mean, just IQ of a lima bean here. I can't
Plus,
take
he
it.
probably doesn't wanna make them look bad, like the FBI came out there and treated him like shit.
Yeah, that is true.
So but, even day one, you're like, "What the fuck is wrong with these people?" I
Mm.
mean so then my damn, I was like, this was I thought I can't even get words out here. I thought I had heard the shit that was gonna be like the mind-boggling portion of this fucking thing. Like, oh my god, they allowed this to happen. Then they go back a fucking year and you hear about what happened the year previously, and I was like, fuck did I just hear?
hmm
Like, this didn't really happen because we find out that the year before in 1972, B calls and asks Jan, what did he ask her to bring him
No,
lunch?
no, no. The mom, not Jan.
Oh,
Marianne.
I keep writing down Jan. It's
I
Marianne.
just
You're
keep
right.
thinking of like Gilligan's Island and fucking Brady Bunch. We're talking
Yeah.
about, so, but yeah, so he calls not his wife, but he calls Marianne and is like, "Hey, I can't get away for lunch. Can you bring me a sandwich?" Uh, no, you can call your fucking wife and she can
Right?
bring you a sandwich. But oh, no, no, no. She was ready. Fuck yeah, I'll bring you a sandwich. She immediately. And then what's the
Mhm.
line she said, babe, that you love so much? She just totally just told everybody that her husband's a piece of shit in her eyes or whatever.
Well, I don't know if it was in this one. I don't know if I wrote that down. I think that might have been what you did.
Yeah.
Because I put that she talked about how he began to flirt with her, and she talked about being attracted to him, and
Mm-hmm.
um, she just kept going so in depth about how he made her feel.
Yeah, it gave her fluttering inside. But this is when this bitch says B had the charisma that Bob didn't possess, is basically what she said.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
basically, she's like, this guy, I like him. He's got charisma. He makes me feel special. And Bob, fuck him. I can't stand him.
Pretty much, yeah.
And that's pretty much what she said. So, and so they get together.
I can't with
And
these
where
people.
were they, babe? Where were they?
At a damn church
A
retreat.
church trip. Yep, a
I
church
know,
trip.
I know.
So they were out
Oh,
alone, just her and
they
B.
went for a drive.
They went for a drive, and she said stuff happened, and it went on longer than it should have. But she basically said that B got to second base.
She said, "We kissed and messed around a
Yeah,
little."
and he touched my breast. Bullshit. That fucker came around for a home run and he scored. There's no doubt in my mind. Because when she is telling this story, when
Oh
she is
god.
recounting everything that went on, this bitch is thirsty. Like still.
Yeah,
Oh man.
yeah.
Like woo.
You can tell she just lights up. She doesn't talk about, her husband and light up like that,
Mm-mm.
but
Cause
you could
you
just see it in her
yeah.
face.
Yeah, because I mean she was kind of I feel like she was trying to hold back a smile while she was talking
Yeah,
about it. Yeah.
yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. She was unquenchable thirst. Like
Like,
she
she just has this longing for him and
hmm
being back there, and she even talks about how she still thought about him every day when she got home.
Yeah.
God. So, then they tell us the next portion of this fucking shocking news, but they didn't say when it happened. Do you have any idea when it happened?
I mean,
Like,
I feel
in
like it was
regards to when it happened, the other?
I feel like it was pretty quick because they were the FBI agent a little while later was talking about how just trying to get the parents out of the way so he could have Jan. So I'm gonna take
Yeah,
it from here, babe. I'm gonna take
yeah,
it from here because
yeah.
if you haven't watched this, like I'm gonna use the southern word, y'all look, you don't know, okay? You if you didn't watch this shit, what I'm about to tell you is real.
If you
Like
know, you know.
if you don't, you
But
don't, and you're
if you
about
don't,
to,
yeah.
okay? So this motherfucker, Bob, right, is talking about B and saying he was very knowledgeable in the sexual field. And when I was like, the fuck you just say? Like,
Yeah.
like, no, 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 no,
You're
no, no.
already like, "Where's this going?"
Yeah. And he knows that he doesn't have a very good relationship with his wife sexually. Um, so after lunch and the church trip and all that, B goes into the flower shop that the dad owns, and Bob says he could tell B was extremely disturbed. And then B's like, "Hey, let's go for a ride." So, huh? Okay, why? Okay, you're telling me he looks extremely disturbed, but let's get in a car together and just go drive for what? Like he didn't say. He didn't say. So driving
Well,
down,
Bob didn't ask any other questions. Why start
Bob was like,
now?
he's like, "Fuck it, let's get in the car. What could happen? We're just gonna talk, right?" No, the fuck they ain't. So
No.
it's already fucking wrong. Okay, but like he just stops the car on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere, and he says to Bob, he's like, "I can't stand my wife." And for dudes that are married, that shit gets said. Okay, that shit is said all the time. I can't stand this bitch. I can't stand her right now.
Uh,
You can flick me off all you want, baby. Every has always said it. Always
oh,
said
yeah, I
it.
say that,
It
like,
started
twice
with
a week.
it started with this bitch ate that goddamn apple like God told us not to. It started there. Okay, like it's always been said. It's always been a thing. But
Oh,
this dude follows up with, I need to have sex. So hold on. Whoa, I can't stand my wife. I need to have sex. So what we need to go find a sex worker or something. What are we talking about?
I'm already thinking about how fast I'm gonna get this door open.
Right, right,
In my mind, I'm
right.
like, where the fuck are you going with this?
So okay, he's a dumbass. So maybe he, oh, he can't put two and two together. But then he looks over and just raging fucking hard on B. Just
And why
fucking
is he
bam.
noticing this? Like, why is he all like, what's going
Right,
on down there, little fella?
right.
I mean,
He's
really?
yeah. He's either hung like a horse or he's like, check that out. So, um,
Right.
so first, even as my friend, I'm not going for a ride. Okay, like if you want to talk, we'll go talk.
Oh,
Whatever you
God.
need. Fuck, he owns the flower shop. He could close that shit if it was so important for a friend, right? He
Yeah.
could close it. Nope, he gets in the car. Don't know why, but and then the fucker stops on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere, and that's like I'm getting out of the fucking car
Yeah.
because like some shit's about to happen that I don't want. Like either I'm getting murdered or something, but. Mm-mm. And like I said, I can't stand my wife. All right, cool. The sex part, whoa, I already been out of the car. He'd have been yelling out of the window because I'd have been fucking gone.
Mm-hmm.
And then, he looks over and he can see that he's sexually aroused. The fuck are you still doing in the car, Bob? Like, I get it. You probably don't want to walk all the way back to your flower shop, but fuck, man.
You're not making good choices, Bob.
And then, holy shit. Like, the balls on B, man. I don't know. Bob knows him, but I mean, I can't. He looks at Bob and he's like, "Hey, Bob, hey, man, I need some relief."
I can't even.
And then,
How do you get to the point where you're going to ask somebody,
right,
can you give me some relief?
right, right. And they laughed. Ha ha. No, 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 not fucking ha ha ha. Like fucking run, run, run. Like, what do you, no, hey, will you give me some relief? That's never funny. And I mean, everybody listening right now knows I don't give a shit who fucks who. I don't
Oh,
care. I
no, no.
don't, dude, chicks, what, it doesn't matter to me. But like, no, this is not consensual until it
Yeah,
is.
this is not like he's like undercover gay, homosexual, whatever, bisexual, any of that. This is like, this guy is so persuasive that he's just like puts
Well,
him in a trance.
yeah, because
It's
I
fucking
mean,
nuts.
it's like a 16-year-old on prom trying to talk his girlfriend and having sex because he says, "Oh, Bob, it's just kid stuff, and I've got to have relief."
Like, oh my god, like boys trying to tell you that it's like medically bad to have blue balls.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
that could medically hurt me. Well, bitch, hope it don't fall off. I don't know what to tell you.
yeah.
Good luck with
So
that.
this motherfucker reaches over and jerks B off right there in the car. I
He
mean,
said, quote, so I was dumb enough to reach over and relieve him in an act of masturbation.
like I don't know how he said that with a straight face, but
I
like
don't
like
either.
B didn't have to buy this dude dinner, didn't have to do the old yawn trick where you pretend to
Mm-mm.
yawn and put your arm around him. No, basically he was like, "Hey, hate my wife, got blue balls, give a buddy a hand job."
Let's go, man.
Yeah. And like you said, he was dumb enough to reach over and relieve him in an act of masturbation, which is the creepiest fucking thing. Like,
Uh,
it's just like, ooh. So
that's the
I don't know.
that's
Like,
the juxtaposition between how you know religious or vanilla or whatever they are to say it in terms of relieve him in an act of masturbation against the other side of them who's jerking some guy off in the car is so mind-boggling.
yeah. So Bob gets choked up, not in the car, during the interview.
Yeah.
During the interview. So, uh, and like, I
Oh.
think he's upset on watching him because he's, he feels shame about what he did with B, which I mean, I get it. I mean, I don't fucking get it. Okay. Let me make that straight. I don't fucking understand how you go from, hey, let's get in the car and take a drive to, hey, jerk me off. No, 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 no. I can't make that connection. But You know, I can understand this dude's getting upset. I thought it'd be shame. No, no, it's not shame. He was just upset because he broke the trust and fidelity he had with his wife.
And you know what I also put? I said, you can see how ashamed he is of breaking his promise of fidelity to his wife, but he never mentions the fact that this was also the man who raped his child.
Right.
So it's not, I'm ashamed that I did this, even though I'm not homosexual, but I allowed him to talk me into it. Or I'm ashamed that I would have sexual relations with the man who also raped my child. No, it's just, I can't believe I betrayed my vows.
Mm-hmm.
The fuck?
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know. Maybe he wouldn't have felt that way if he knew B had already broken it with his wife in the same car
B
on a
done,
church trip.
B done blew that shit wide open. They ain't,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he done, that's been done.
Yeah. And, so you think it's just a little tug session between two friends, because as friends do, fucking, but
Lots to do.
right. But the next part we hear B talking, and he said he entered into a homosexual relationship with the father in order to have access to Jan. So way more than just handsy stuff with this dude.
Hmm.
So it's like you
I mean, that's how I read it. That's
yeah,
how I
you
heard it.
you tell enough to say that, but you don't take it a little bit further, because that's what the dad was doing, or B was doing, was just trying to, you know, get both of them out of the way, and this is the way that he did it.
Hmm.
No fucking way. Like, no, no, there'd be some assault and battery. But dude was like, hey, I need some relief. No, the fuck you don't. You need to
Yeah.
relieve your. But that's just and that's not even the craziest fucking part. Like, it just gets worse.
It's
It
horrible.
gets fucking
It's
crazy.
it is. And so he says that about entering into a homosexual relationship. And he even admits, you hear him on this creepy ass fucking audio saying he had a fixation with Jan.
No shit.
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, no shit. We knew that. But hearing him say it was just, oh, it just made my skin crawl.
Yeah.
Oh. And, talking about the LDS church, we find out that she's kidnapped in October, but we find out that in January he was reprimanded by the council of the church because of, quote, his involvement with another young girl.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of them doing anything about it, like reporting him to the fucking police so that, maybe this shit wouldn't happen with Jan, no, they send him to see a counselor. And then they send him to a clinical psychologist in California to help him with his obsession with Jan. Why don't you tell them what this genius clinical psychologist came up with?
Well, first he had to tell the parents that he was working through the abuse he suffered when he was a child, and he told his dad that he had sex with an aunt when he was 4. But I feel like, being married to a therapist, I feel like this is not solid advice. Um, he tells The psychologist tells B, who then tells Bob, that part of his therapy is to spend some time alone with his daughter.
Mm-mm.
And he asked if he would mind. And Dad's like, no, I don't mind, because I trusted him. And B even went to the point of saying, you can call the doctor if you don't believe me. And the dad's like, no, it's fine, I trust you. What in the actual fuck? So you got this guy who you just jerked off in the car. You found out that he likes little girls, had to go
Mm-hmm.
see a psychologist who gave him this crazy ass shit. And then you're just like, sure, no problem. And like, we find out that the psychologist had his license revoked. Clearly, should have. But
Mm-hmm.
so this isn't being duped by somebody. It's being fucking stupid, because he laid with her, like, it was like 4 nights a week for like 6 months
Mm-hmm.
as
And
part of his therapy.
Mom even says, well, we weren't comfortable with it, but it was part of his therapy. So,
Yeah. Oh,
are you
and
fucking kidding me?
yeah, and this is where dad's like, um, shit, I can't find. Hold on. Oh yeah, he said he didn't have an inkling he had sexual designs on Jan. Yeah, you fucking did. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. But he said, well, I mean, we didn't even know what a child molester was. Again,
Um, no matter what
Touching
you're
kids,
calling it,
yeah, touching kids, wrong, regardless of what they call it. Fucking
like,
wrong.
the church sent him to see someone because he is sexually attracted to children, and to the point of having involvement with a young girl.
Hmm.
That you think that that has no bearing on what he might do if he gets in the bed with your young girl,
Yeah.
who he seems to want to spend every second with? The
Yeah. I
fuck
mean,
is wrong with these people?
LDS just took a page right out of the Catholic's book.
I mean,
Hey, we're not
I
going to tell
can't.
anybody. We're just going to sweep this shit under the rug and see if we can make sure nobody finds out. But, and the dad's talking about how we could be so gullible when there were so many red flags. Yeah, yeah, I'm wondering too. How were you? Like
Mhm.
you said on the podcast the other night, babe. Fucking red flags just hitting you right in the face,
Yeah,
and you ain't doing
flapping in
nothing
the
about it.
fucking
Just
wind,
just
ain't doing
hitting you right in
shit.
nothing. So
I mean,
yeah, and B was in her bed 4 times a week for 6 months, right up until the day she was taken.
yep.
I mean, I can't, I don't. This is why I don't have any problem dogging this entire family out.
Mhm.
Because I
Well, we
mean,
say entire family, but
well,
mom and
yeah,
dad.
yeah,
I mean,
mom and
mom
dad,
and dad.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not Jan when she's young, but Jan in a few episodes, yes, but not Jan when she's young. Because I mean, this kind of stuff, that's not funny.
No.
But the parents, this is fucking ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous.
And I mean, she's even talking about how he would come lay with her and play these creepy ass fucking audio tapes that were his therapy tapes.
Yeah, that he got from his psychologist.
And the worst part about it is he actually did get the shit from a psychologist. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, not a practicing one, not a licensed one because it had been revoked, thank God. But I guess it didn't stop him from practicing, so
No,
I don't know
because I
what
mean,
that
yeah,
matters.
it would have been revoked before he saw it. Before, so, but I mean, think about it though. The church sent him to the psychologist, so the church wasn't going to send him to somebody that was upstanding. The church is going to send him to somebody that they had dirt on.
Which is ridiculous because, like, why you should be checking their credentials before you send somebody to anybody. But Jan even talks about how when he's laying with her these nights, he gives her vitamins or allergy pills that obviously were later determined to be sleeping pills.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, even that, it's like, I don't know. I do think at first I thought almost like, I mean, in a mean way, I'm just saying it, like, there was a part of me that was like, "I don't feel like I was that fucking stupid at 12, like, when I fell for this shit." So I kinda was, like, trying not to judge Jan, but kinda judging her. I mean, I was really trying not to, but I was just like, "How you falling for this shit?" But later on, when you hear audio tapes of Jan, she sounds like a fucking five-year-old.
She does, yeah.
I mean, she legit sounds sheltered, and if she was in that church, I mean, with their faith, as they call it, I mean, she probably was very sheltered. So
Well, and
who knows,
you know what the scary part is she seems so immature for her age, and she was the oldest.
right?
Like normally, the oldest is the most mature one because they have to do everything on their own. Because by the
Because I
time the
mean,
second or third one,
at 12, if anyone had tried to give me vitamins or allergy pill, I'd have been like, I can't take that. I have to ask my mom if I can take that.
fuck,
I mean, like, I would not have taken just a pill from anyone,
at 12, I was picking my little sister up from daycare and bringing her home
right?
at 12. So yeah, I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure I would have known if some shit was going down that shouldn't.
yeah.
So I don't know.
It's
Maybe there were some mitigating circumstances for her ability to know what the fuck was going on. So I guess
yeah.
we'll
And
slowly give her a pass.
I forgot I wrote in there, you were talking about red flags. I wrote, Dad says he never had an inkling. How the fuck could he not see these neon signs? Because I was like, these are, all I could see was those neon, you know how they like, like over like where you shoot pool? A pool table. Like the neon signs and shit. Like, fuck off, okay? You know how they like make them in cursive? They're like big neon signs. I hate you so much
No,
sometimes.
no, it's just if you guys aren't watching the video, she's over here like trying to fucking draw it out for me, like we're playing a fucking game of charades. I usually know what you're talking about, babe. I got nothing. I mean, I got nothing on that one. So just a neon sign? Is that what you just a neon
Like
sign?
neon letters. I was just all I could see was this neon,
Oh,
like a motel vacancy light
yeah. So
flashing.
a neon sign. Got it.
Yeah, bitch, a neon sign. Okay, fuck off. And this, okay, is the first little bit that you're like, okay, this agent's starting to get a little annoyed
Mm.
because he says they're very naive. And it's like, are they just naive? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
But
I feel like he was like, they're fucking morons, and the producer's like, okay, hold on, we'll get there, we'll get there, but we need you
Mhm,
to dial it back a little bit, dial it back. So it's like,
yeah.
they were fucking naive.
Well, and here's the other thing that we didn't mention yet that I was quite curious about. Where did old Gail think he was fucking at 4 nights a week?
Well, she knew,
You know, like,
she knew where he was.
yeah, exactly. It's just disgusting.
Mm.
Like, I'm gonna tell you, if you disappeared one fucking time to go to someone else's house and stay the night, you wouldn't even have to get to the part where I found out it was in the child's room. I'd be like, where the fuck is he at? Oh, the locks are changed? Well, you didn't show the fuck up last night and you didn't call somebody, so you don't live here no more. Who the fuck does that?
Yeah,
And
man, I
this
don't even
bitch,
get one night.
hell no. Because if you didn't come home, I would be like, oh my God, he's laying in a ditch somewhere. Where's he at? I would be so worried. And if I found out you just stayed somewhere and didn't call, I'd be like, is he fucking kidding with this? But then she finds, I mean, there ain't no way they didn't have conversations over 6 months
Right.
about his ass living there, basically. Like, where did his kids think? You
Well,
know?
you know what? She
Oh,
was a dutiful wife, making sure that he followed through on his therapy to get better.
that's it.
That's not even close to what it is, but you know,
God,
yeah,
I can't
just
even.
ridiculous.
Ugh. So, hold on, let me check something here. Making sure we're right on time. So I don't want to mess us up going to the wrong spot. But we skip back to the kidnapping from Jan's point of view now. Because,
October
they
17th,
they talk about it.
1974. Was that a
Yeah,
Thursday?
it was a Thursday. And she talks about waking up strapped to a bed. And she calls it the box. So that's what I'm going to call it. But it looked like one of those little recording. I mean, we all had them. Like, if you're in your 40s, like the little tape player you put in that has all the little buttons on the front,
Like a cassette
like a
deck?
cassette recorder.
I thought it looked like one of those things that, like, when they were still called secretaries, when you hit the button, be like, you know,
Oh, yeah, like a, like
yeah, the
a
intercom.
no,
I
that
think it
ain't
was
what I
more
was
like
going
an
to say.
intercom because, I
Oh,
mean,
was it? I
it,
ain't gonna lie. I wasn't looking. I was
well,
typing while I
well,
was listening.
but they were, she was being communicated with through it. So yeah, it was
I
an
think
intercom.
Gotcha, okay. Yeah, so it was like a box, okay.
Mm,
At one point, I just remember seeing them push the little buttons on the recording thing, so I
mm.
was just assuming it was that, but okay. So that makes sense, that's why she called it the box, but she talks about that there were recordings on there that talked to her, but here's my thing, did she think they were recordings at that time, or did she think they were talking to her live?
She thought she was talking. So she woke up strapped down by her wrists and ankles, fell back asleep or went unconscious, whatever. Woke back up, wasn't tied down anymore. Saw the white box, and some crazy sounding alien type voice was speaking to her. She immediately goes to, "Holy fuck, I've been kidnapped by a UFO." Like, that's
Yeah,
our fucking initial go to. Aliens, aliens, fucking aliens.
at
That's your
12,
initial.
like, not at, like, 7,
Yeah,
at 12.
yeah.
So, but Zeta and Zethra start talking to her. So,
I'm
I
gonna say
mean,
this. I'm gonna say this is kind of funny. Zeta doesn't, like, when you write it into Word. There's no spell check for it, so I guess it's spelled right. I don't know if it does that on yours.
maybe we spelled it different ways because mine's got those squigglies under it.
Anyway, yeah, she. So Zeta and Zethra finally filled Jen in on who she was, because
Hmm.
she was, in fact, part alien. Her mother was
Yes.
her biological mother, but her father was from an alien planet.
Yep.
She's half
And
alien
she has been sent on a mission.
on a mission. But okay, so the way she explains it to us, because she thinks we're as dumb as she is, she explains it as, Joseph was like her dad and took care of Jesus, but really the father was God. Yeah, we fucking got it. We got there. We got there long before you did, sweetheart. We got there. We know, okay? We know. But yes, she was on a mission to save the alien planet.
Yeah. And to do this, she had to have a child by the time she turned 16.
Mm-hmm. But never fear, alien planet, if you live there, because the box told her if she couldn't perform the mission, they did have a backup plan because her younger sister Susan could do it because she was also half alien.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
That just works out. Save the
Like,
planet.
yeah, it works out perfectly. So they tell her she's going to meet her male companion to have this child with her. And she walks into the front room, and who the fuck is there?
Surprise.
Dun,
B.
dun, dun, dun.
Jesus Christ.
Just happens to be laying on the couch in the motorhome.
Yeah, but he was covered in blood, and she said he looked like he was dead, and she starts shaking him, and he finally wakes up. And we know why he finally wakes up, because this is when it gets even fucking crazier. Because he said that while they were driving to the stables, he saw a bright white light coming out of the sky, and the car started to shake, and they must have been taken by the alien ship. And
Hmm.
this is what convinced her that he was, in fact, the male companion. He's
So,
he's 40, she's
God,
12. She said
yeah.
it was strange, but she did just find out and believed she was an alien. So what she said was, so now I was strange. So that's how she justified everything in her head was, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a strange relationship that I have with this 40-year-old, but I'm also half alien, so is it really strange?
Yeah. We had vastly different childhoods. I mean, really, because like I don't I don't think my parents were like, you know, teaching me horrible things or anything, but I feel like the first thing out of my mouth would have been like, "The fuck?"
Mm,
At 12, I feel like that would have been my
yeah.
response. On hand to God, I feel like I'd have been like, "The fuck? No.
But
I'm
what
not
she
doing
said
that."
was, she said she was convinced of everything because she was isolated and afraid. And if you get anyone isolated and afraid, you can get them to believe anything. No, bitch. No, no, that's not true. Nope.
Well, I don't know. You isolate dad, he's ready to give hand jobs. So maybe. I don't
Maybe
know.
that family you get them isolated, but
Mhm.
I feel like if you get me isolated and afraid, I'm not going to be like, yeah, whatever you say, man. Nope.
Yeah. I mean, I might have been like, okay, well, but you know what? We should probably wait till I'm ovulating. So let's wait till like next week and then I'm going to get back with you. Okay. So I'm going to go home right now and then I'm going to get back with you. Okay. I
Right.
mean, at 12, I still 100% believe that there's no way I would have fallen for this. But I wasn't raised in that completely sheltered lifestyle. And at the end of the day, Jan is still a victim. So, as a child,
As a child.
as dumb as it sounds, falling for this stuff, she still was a child. Um,
Yeah.
so God, the box would talk to them, and after a few weeks, it told them it was time. So, like, what the fuck was the box telling them in the meantime?
I don't know. She said she was drugged a lot, but the box, what did it say? It said, "We think it's time for you to ask the male companion to do what makes people happy." And I mean, like that is funny the way that it's
It's
said
so
to us as
creepy.
adults, but
Ugh.
to a child, I mean, he said it like that on purpose instead of being like, "Hey, you need to go fuck this dude." It was more like, "Hey, you need to go make this guy happy." So, I mean, that's the reason why it's those words are used. So, and that's what she did. Is
But you know,
and
it was
God,
so creepy how she even I don't know. Ugh, she is like talking about it and making comments about you could tell though that he was trying to make it as an enjoyable experience for me as it was for him.
mm,
What the fuck?
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
it
Because he
just
was. She
ugh.
said that it wasn't. She doesn't remember it. The you know like a violent rape like so many women. suffer, and that he went really slow and was very gentle and all this. And it's like, oh, God, it makes it so much worse.
Mm.
Because like he's trying to make sure that she's enjoying it too, which that's just next level fucked up.
Oh, yeah. And she mentions, and I only bring this up because later there is a reason for it, or I would not bring this up because it's disgusting and I don't see the need to bring up unnecessary vulgarity. But she does mention that he only inserts his penis about an inch into her.
Hmm. Was that at a time or complete?
I don't know. That's all she said. That's all I wrote down. But you have a theory behind that, right? Because we watched some, or you read some, or it was
Yeah.
something we watched, wasn't it?
It's called docking, and not the two dudes together docking, but like,
I mean, that's what I thought. I was like, two dudes, she's a girl, but
I believe it's Mormon, LDS. I don't know. It's one of these fucking crazy ass religions, but they define sex as.
sorry to all the Mormons out there. We're sorry. We're sorry.
I'm not. I'm not. You're a fucking cult. I mean, fucking. You can ask. We'll
Oh,
ask Doctor. We'll ask Doctor J when she's on here.
wait.
It's a fucking
Mormons
cult.
are like the gold tablets they buried, right?
Yeah, Joseph Smith went out there and found them
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah,
Cult.
fucking
Okay. I
cult,
don't feel
right?
bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad.
So sex for them is the thrusting motion. So as long as you stick your dick in a chick and then you just sit there, it's not sex. That's what they call
It's
docking.
just, God.
So I
Yeah,
feel
because
like
they were
that's
talking
maybe.
about how teenagers do that,
Mhm,
and that's their like
mhm.
way to stay in
Yeah.
good graces.
Yep. Yeah. Because they're
I
not
feel like
thrusting.
they're not. I feel like they may joke on like non Mormons, but hey, our kids in public school they fucking understand the difference in sexual education and this not being sex. Like I'm pretty sure you ask any kid in a public school and they're gonna be like, "No, that's sex, man. That's sex. That's it." Like
Right.
you lost your virginity, man. Like I don't think that's how that works.
Yeah. Because
But these
by the way,
Mormon kids are like, nope. There's a loophole though. There's a loophole.
really they're smart, like the Mormon kids are, because it's like,
They
if they're like
are.
15 or 16, they're like, well, shit, I'm not going to last that long anyway, and I'm going to disappoint her. So if I just dock every now and then, hey, nobody knows that it only lasted a second.
It's just
Fucking
my
ridiculous.
gosh. So on November 20th, which was day 35 of him having her, B calls his brother Joe and tells him that he needs to call Marianne and tell her that he needs written permission for them to come back to the US and get married. He said that they got married in Mexico, but that wouldn't be legally binding in the US.
Mm-hmm.
So, what was this thing like? If he comes back now, he's going to go to prison or
Yeah. What I
whatever
can't,
it was.
what I was like, what? 12 was the age when a girl could be like, yeah, I want to marry him. Mom and dad, can you sign off on it? Fucking 12. So
Yeah.
she doesn't know that she's being like groomed and molested at 12, but she can be like, sure, fuck, I'll be a wife. Really?
Yeah.
And the marriage in Mexico was legal. Like,
Mhm.
because later on you find out they had to send back paperwork to get it annulled. But it was a legal marriage in Mexico. But yeah, he needed written permission. And how do you like? I get this brother, was taking up for him and everything else. But how do you handle that phone call? Your brother calls you and is like, "Hey, I got this 12-year-old that's married in Mexico. I need you to call her mom and get permission for me to come back into America with her." The fuck?
I mean, I would be like, are you hearing voices? Are you seeing things that other people aren't seeing?
Right?
Like, the fuck 12-year-old did you take to Mexico?
Yeah.
What have you done?
And this was the only time so far that they did anything right. Because mom was like, no, not
But
doing it.
that's probably because mom was jealous, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'm just gonna say it. I said what I said.
She was jealous. She
Mom's
was
jealous.
absolutely jealous. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so this is where the brother then started to work with the FBI. And they didn't say it, but I have a feeling the FBI was like, look, you can either work with us or conspiracy, motherfucker. You're going to
Yeah,
prison.
because that brother was just he was taking up for his ass. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, He was
Yeah.
like, "Look, my brother's a pervert, but I mean, you know, people
Hey,
got their own things."
yeah, I like blondes. He likes kids. We all got our
Right.
thing. The fuck.
God.
So yeah, so
So
they
they
tap.
do find him.
Yeah, because they tap his phone and
Mhm.
they find him in Mexico, and
Yep.
they kick down the door of the motorhome and shove them both into a police car.
Yep.
And
But
then,
they take them in, but what does B do with his persuasive self?
oh well, this just tells you how corrupt Mexico was slash is. Um, because they take him to a Mexican prison, and then all of a sudden she's led to a lower level of the prison where she said it smelled like water. Okay, I know what she's saying, but it was just a weird way she said it. But B had given one of the guards a, his gold ring, so I'm assuming his wedding ring, so that they would bring her.
Oh, he's such a douche. I was thinking pinky ring. Sorry for anybody who wears a pinky ring because I actually do like them on some people. They look cool. But that's what I thought. But oh my God, you're right. Like, I'm
Mhm.
such a dumbass.
Yeah,
This motherfucker gave them his wedding ring.
yeah, you are, and that's probably what it
Oh,
was.
but maybe it was his wedding ring with her,
Yeah, I gave
not
it to him
not
so we can be
Gail.
together.
Not
Well,
Gail.
and when she's telling the whole they led me down to this place. I'm like, God damn, he's gonna fucking rape her there in the jail. No,
Oh
they
yeah.
didn't go that far because what she went down there for and what he was doing was like, hey, we're about to get extradited, so I'm gonna need you to help me out here. And he told her to tell her family that he brought her on vacation and made a mistake because he took her too far away and didn't tell her family like he should have.
Yeah, because the distance is all the problem. That's
Yeah,
all of it. That's
yep,
the whole
yeah,
thing.
yep, yeah. But he then makes sure that if his persuasiveness of just being nice doesn't work, thank God Zeta and Zethra are there to help because they make it
Yeah.
very clear the four things that she cannot talk about.
Yes.
She can't talk about the aliens. She can't
Yep.
talk about the relaxing pills, the mission that they're on, or any sexual experiences that she had.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like that didn't sound sketch,
Yeah.
but okay.
She was to have no contact with any other men, including her father. And if she broke any of these rules, I can't. If she broke any of these rules, her sister Karen would go blind. They'd kill her dad and then take Susan.
And she would be vaporized.
Yeah, yeah. That's the part I was laughing at. Not the other stuff, but fucking vapor. You will be vaporized.
I was laughing at the go blind thing. I was like, bitch is gonna go blind. Just all of a sudden.
But yeah, and
It's just so
but
ridiculous.
he then goes and says that the aliens can take their lives and their spirits. And she said that her belief of life after death and losing her spirit is what kept her obedient. So not being vaporized, fuck that. I don't care. Susan going, taking Susan, Karen going blind, fuck them, whatever. But I got to go to
No, we
heaven.
find out later she worried about that sister because she will
Yeah,
do some crazy shit.
yeah, yeah.
So,
But she was worried about her soul at first.
well, and again, all the making fun of her that I'm doing is based on the adult her,
Oh
okay?
yeah, yeah,
Because
for sure. Not the kid her at
she's,
all.
yeah,
No.
but
Mm-mm.
I mean, is the point that I'm making when I laugh at this stuff, it's not that she fell for it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm like, how did you fall for it? I am curious as to how she fell for it. But when you, like I said, when you listen to her on the audio tapes, she really does sound so young and sheltered. And look who's raising her. So I mean, she didn't have fucking prayer in hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, she wasn't being brought up by fucking rocket scientists, you know. But it's just the fucking craziness of it. Like that somebody would even come up with this thing to tell somebody is so absurd. Like, your sister's gonna go blind now. I couldn't have even said that shit with a straight face.
Right? Yeah. Your sister's gonna go blind. Your dad's gonna be killed, and
And
then we'll just take Susan.
she follows his stuff because the parents fly down to Mexico to get her, and she won't even sit next to Bob on the plane.
Yeah. And I mean, like, and this, as dumb as they are, there is still some pain that they went through.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
mean, I can't imagine what it would be like to finally, because he said when he saw her, he was like, "That's our little girl,"
yeah.
and then he's like, pretty soon after that, he realized that it wasn't their Jan. But I mean, for her to be gone for over a month, and then to fly to Mexico and see her, and then she wouldn't even sit next to you. Like I don't even know. I don't even know how that makes you feel.
Yeah.
I can't even begin to imagine. So I mean, there is some stuff that
I
was
do feel
that
for
hurt.
Bob because I do feel for Bob. Just the same way that I said with Sarah when it came to and Mark Vicente when it came to Nexium. I don't think it's that they're bad people. I think they're just naive people. I think Sarah Edmondson is one of the sweetest, most naive fucking people that I've ever heard of in my life until I heard of these fuckers. Because, you know, it's like it's like they fucking grew up in a field of rainbows and fucking butterflies where they don't understand that there's bad stuff in the world that happens.
Mm.
So like it's that's how I feel about dad. Like he's just so gullible. You could talk his ass into anything. Mom had her own fucking agenda.
Oh, she
That
did.
bitch, she's shady. I
Oh
don't
yeah,
care what anybody
yeah.
says. Mm-mm. I am a mom. I got kids. I know what I would and would not do for them. Mm-mm. Nope. She's sketchy as hell.
Yeah.
Oh. So they are able to send the marriage certificate back to
Mm-hmm.
Mexico and have the marriage annulled. And B is extradited back to the US and arrested for kidnapping.
Mm-hmm.
But, and this is why, okay, this is the part where I said, this is why I brought up the part about him only inserting himself an inch because they take her for an assault exam and the doctor says her hymen's not broken, so there is no sign of assault. Now, one, any fucking adult knows that that is not a thing now. But I mean, I don't know. Back then in the 70s, I think they probably did still think that way.
Yeah.
They based it on whether or not the hymen was broken. So I just wonder, with all the thought he put into everything else, do you think that he put that thought into it enough to say, you know what, I'm only going to do this enough because then they can't prove a sexual assault?
Potentially. I don't know how he would have restrained himself. I mean, the like not being funny. The only thing else I can think
I
about
mean,
is
how
he's got
did
a
he anyway?
like he's got a really small dick and like nothing. You know, he couldn't do anything. But like I don't know because I mean, if you finally get your obsession and you've got her and you've gone that far, can you really not? Can you really stop yourself?
Yeah, but she even said, I mean, she's the one who said
I mean, it's just
he barely inserted himself. So,
I don't know. It's fucking creepy and disgusting.
I mean,
Regardless, I mean,
honestly, maybe it's the opposite. Maybe he was very large. And so he knew he was going to hurt her if he did any more than that.
no.
Well, I mean, dad did see the arousal from a seat away. So, I mean, it kind of checked some boxes there. I'm just saying. And I
Maybe he
mean,
was. Maybe he was. I don't
and
know.
he
Either
got
way.
he got he got Marianne all thirsty, so shit, something's going on with this fool. But so Jan continues to be standoffish with dad,
Hmm.
which is horrible.
Yeah, because it said that because the mom was like, oh, she went back to life as normal. She went to school, da da da. And then Jan's like, I was only focused on B and the mission. She's still focused on the
Hmm.
fucking mission.
Yeah,
Why? Because she's worried about being vaporized.
yeah,
It's just,
yeah. And then, so this is the last thing I have
mm-hmm.
until we will do a part two on this. But this is where I feel like they let us know how this FBI guy really feels. Because you can tell that he's pissed when he says this. He says, so the FBI agent says he told them to stay away from B and his entire family. He said, which they did not do. He
Yeah.
says it just like that.
Yeah, which they did not do. Yeah.
Yeah, he was so
Oh
annoyed
my.
with them. He
Yeah.
was like, the one fucking thing I told them to do, but they
Hmm.
didn't do it.
No, they did not.
So I mean, I know if you're listening to this, you're thinking, what the fuck more could there be?
Mm.
But there's more. Damn it, there's more.
There's more.
There's more. You ain't even gonna believe it. But I mean, shit, you might at this point. I don't know. But that is all for part one. There will only be two parts, though. No worries. This isn't gonna be drug out.
So yeah,
Awesome.
that is the craziness of the first part of Abducted in Plain Sight. And like we said, if you think that was crazy, it honestly gets even worse. So
Mm-mm-mm.
stay tuned. We will be back next week with part 2.
Bye.